Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Yesterday, I brought you my review of Indiana Jake and the Dialysis of Destiny. Needless to say, wasn't particularly impressed with that film. Go check out the review. I might get a little bit spicy in it from time to time. And the Thursday box office has come in and it's absolutely unbelievably bad. And it's not just unbelievably bad because of the amount of money it took. It's unbelievably bad in comparison with other films, flops, which have come out recently. And it's also unbelievably bad based on the amount of theaters that the Thursday previews were even shown on. So here we see that it did a paltry $7.2 million on the preview Thursdays. Don't worry about the international box office. That's not updated properly. So, we're not going to play silly beggars as regards to that. But if I scroll down here at the bottom, you can see that this was shown in 4,500 cinemas. Indiana Jake and the Dialysis of Destiny is going to go to 4,600 theaters for its general release domestically. So that's only 100 theaters less than that for its previews. And I believe it's somewhere in the region of the 4,600 cinemas is somewhere in the region of like the 9th largest distribution of a movie ever. So on a 4,500 theater Thursday preview, it could only bring in 7.2 million. To give you some idea, with that amount of theaters, with that amount of budget, this is a $300 million movie that they're admitting to. And we know that this has had considerable reshoots, considerable marketing. This is a $300 million production budget that they're admitting to. This film has got to hit somewhere in the region of $900 million to break even. Now, Critical Drinker did a great video earlier in the week about how are these movies expected to make money because the budgets are so out of control now. And the marketing is so out of control now. Then you've got to take in consideration the cut that the theaters take. Then you have to understand the international market and the international cut. And if it goes into China now reworked the deal and you only get like 25%. This has to hit somewhere 900 million to break even. How is this movie meant to turn over a profit? Well, if it's going to turn over a profit and if it's going to turn over a decent profit, because you don't make a movie that has to break even at around 800 million for it to make 50 million profit. That's not the return that you're looking for. You're looking for hundreds of millions of dollars of profit. So they need it to perform a la Top Gun Part 2. That's what they need it to perform like. To do like a $1.5 billion at the box office so they can go, right, yeah, we made about $700 million profit on that. That's what they're looking for. 7.2 million, as you're going to see very soon, that's lower than the fucking Flash. So this is set to be an astronomical bomb at the box office right now. So let's do some comparing and contrasting, shall we? Let's bring up the Flash, which is a mitigated disaster. And that brought in 9.7 million to over 2.5 million more off 1,100 less theaters before it went into its 4,200 plus distribution. And apparently this movie's set to lose around about 1,500 theaters this weekend, compensating for something like Indiana Jones and compensating for other movies which are actually making money. They have legs, or even ones which aren't making money but are doing way better than the fucking Flash are, that's doing an average of $259 a theater domestically. So this is a catastrophic bomb, The Flash. So much so that this is going to go on streaming platforms in 2 weeks' time. It's not going to go free, but they're hedging that they stand more chance of making some money by people purchasing it digitally. But of course, when you go digitally, that creates an even better quality of a rip that you can go watch with your friend Captain Jack Sparrow. So it also has its major downsides, but they're so desperate to make some money because this ain't making no money that they got to do that. Imagine if this film, which I thought, I stressed in my review yesterday, I'll watch The Flash all day, every day before I ever watch that Indiana Jones movie again. It is dour. It is miserable. It is depressing. It is soulless. It is dreadful. At least there are elements in The Flash I actually liked or thought were at least fun. But if Indiana Jones falls off a cliff like The Flash has fallen off a cliff, we're looking down the barrel of a loss of $500 million on this movie. Oh well, Phoebe Waller-Horseface does it again, I guess. Now let's have a look at another movie which isn't performing well, contrary to how the mainstream media are trying to spin it. This is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. I hated the film. I thought it was terrible. But the simple fact of the matter is that this isn't making money. The Flash has a budget of somewhere in the 200-odd million region. It's more than that. Rise of the Beasts, a budget. Let me have a look. $200 million. This film has to hit at least $500 million to break even. At least. And what's it currently on worldwide? 347. And its legs are gone. Its legs are gone. It's bringing currently $428 a theater. Its legs are gone. It's going to lose $100+ million. This did $8.8 million on its preview Thursday with 3,100 cinemas, 1,400 less cinemas than Indiana Jake and the Dialysis of Destiny. Are you beginning to see yet? Are you beginning to believe? Again, another flop, another movie that's losing money. And that's all we're going to be looking at, is movies that are losing money. Let's jump to The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid, which is currently standing at 505 million worldwide, set to lose money. Because what's the budget on The Little Mermaid? $250 million. This has to probably hit somewhere in the region of $750 million at least to break even. This is set to lose most likely $100 million+ for Disney. It makes my heart sing to say things like that. But look at what it did on its preview Thursday. They don't have the number of theaters. Somebody didn't just drop a bundle of $10.3 million cash on the doorstep of Disney, but it did $10.3 million on its preview Thursday. $3 million more than Indiana Jake and the Dialysis of Destiny. This film, a flop. Indiana Jones budget, $300 million+. So it has to perform better than this, which is a flop. So there's one movie that I want to bring up that is a success. And I'm not talking about Miles Morales, and I'm not talking about Top Gun or Avatar 2. No, I'm talking about a modest but a success. Why? Because it understands its budget and it understands who the audience is. And that's John Wick 4. John Wick 4 had a budget of $90 to $100 million, meaning that it probably had to pull in somewhere around the region of $250 million to break even, and worldwide, $432 million. So this has turned over a profit of over $100 million. Also, films like John Wick tend to do very well in the Blu-ray sales, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K sales, which will bump its profit margin up even further. Its preview Thursday, $8.9 million, $1.7 million better than Indiana Jake and the Dialysis of Destiny. $100 million budget, 250, let's even go 300 just to go crazy, to break even, 432 million worldwide, making it over 100 million profit. That's how you do it. Joker, 50 million budget, just short of 1.1 billion at the box office. That's how you turn over a profit. These budgets are out of control. The marketing is out of control, and they don't have the legs because these movies aren't actually made to entertain you. They're meant, I mean, I think The Flash at least attempted that. There wasn't anything per se woke about the Flash movie, but can you say that with Transformers? No, it's fucking riddled with bullshit. Little Mermaid, riddled with bullshit. Elemental, riddled with bullshit. And Indiana Jake, riddled with this bullshit. Thanks to Phoebe Waller Horseface. Indiana, Jake, and the Dialysis of Destiny is going to have a real hard time at the box office, because even if this weekend does well and people turn up to the theaters to watch, I think it's going to become a very apparent indeed when they see the film that word of mouth will kill it dead, because this is a disastrous, dour, miserable, depressing, soulless piece of shite. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now.